Hey everybody, welcome back to another Judgment commentary of Nekomonogatari, but this time I'm going to be checking out episode 4, the final episode of this part of the series. But last time, on episode 3, Araragi got a quick peek into Hanekawa's house, and he noticed that despite the fact that the house had 6 rooms, none of them seemed to belong to Hanekawa, which was exceptionally troubling for him. The guy had a full-on freakout over it, and justifyingly so, as it would imply that the abuse of Hanekawa has gone much further than even he had realized. As in, if she doesn't have her own room, it would imply that she just doesn't have any privacy. She has no room to call her own, no place to relax or unwind or have privacy or anything like that. I don't know where the heck she sleeps or does anything if she doesn't have a room, but I don't know, do they have her sleep in the frickin' hallways or on the stairs or something? I mean, it did show a phone charging on the stairs, so maybe she sleeps on the stairs. That would be awful. No matter the case, it's very evident why her stress built up so much that she was targeted by a frickin' spirit cat, and why she's having to relieve it in this fashion. But after all that happened, Araragi found out that Oshino had been trying to stop the cat over and over and over, but failing to do so because she's insanely powerful. Well, actually, it's not that she's powerful necessarily, it's more that she's smart. She has access to all of Hanekawa's memories, all of her mind at her disposal, and as we know, Hanekawa knows a lot of things. So with that knowledge, she was able to overwhelm even Oshino 20 times, so it makes her exceptionally dangerous. Afterward, she had a nice little chat with Araragi where she, of course, advised him to stay out of this, and she also told him to tell Oshino to stay out of this because I guess she doesn't want to kill either of them, really. I mean, if she wanted to kill Oshino, she would have done it by now, and she certainly doesn't want to kill Araragi because she probably knows that that would stress out Hanekawa. Also, one of you reminded me of the fact that the reason that Shinobu was able to defeat the cat at the end of Bake was because she let her. I had forgotten that fact. She even deliberately moved Araragi to a point where his shadow was more pronounced so that Shinobu would pop up and kick her in the face. I had totally forgotten that she set that up because she wanted Shinobu to beat her. And I assume that's also the case for how she ends up beating her at the end of Nekomonogatari. She wants to de-stress Hanekawa by any means. She doesn't care how, and I guess Shinobu draining the stress out of her works just as good. But enough about that. Let's just begin. So there you have it. That closes the book on Nekomonogatari Koro, or Nekomonogatari Black, or just Nekomonogatari. So yeah, what a thrilling last episode. I was pleasantly surprised with that. It was quite intense. I didn't even know about that sword being involved. He omitted that, which is good. It left quite a shock, but man, just a lot to go over about all that. Let me gather my thoughts here. So her parents explained the situation where they hit her as a buildup of stress caused by Hanekawa being how she is. They were saying that she was very critical of them, constantly pointing out their flaws and their mistakes, and they had had enough and whacked her across the room. And from a certain point of view, if I want to advocate for the devil here, which I don't, but I'm going to do it anyway, it would be exceptionally exhausting to live around someone who's constantly pointing out your flaws and critiquing you at every turn. Admittedly, yeah, that would be frustrating. It would not be pleasant to be around that. However, there is no circumstance in which a parental figure is justified in physically assaulting their child. No, that's not cool. I don't care how stressed out they made you, you cannot hit them. That's just not a valid way to go about things. I don't care. I don't care how stressed out she made you guys. Doesn't help that they were also abusing her in other ways, because apparently she didn't have her own freaking room in a 6-room house. So, yeah, it's not like they were exactly giving her a loving household either. And it sounds like they had a lot that was worth critiquing, so I'm with Hanekawa on this one. She just needed to get out of that household. It would be better for all of them had they not be in the same place. And man, that is just an aspect of Hanekawa that I did not really consciously acknowledge, and that she is almost unfazed by like anything that happens for the most part, you know? She doesn't react in a lot of different emotional ways. She's usually cool no matter what happens, even when she's getting smacked in the face and sent 10 feet away and, you know, is bleeding from it. She still keeps her cool and just says, hey, that's not cool. You can't do that. Heck, even when she was, you know, bleeding out and her internal organs were spilling out in Kizu, she was still very, very cool about it. I guess it's her defense mechanism after all that she's had to endure. Although it's funny that way back in the beginning of this arc, when Araragi flipped up her skirt so that he could deflect the conversation, she did react by slapping him, even though she knew that he was doing it for her sake. Maybe she didn't immediately recognize that and that's why she slapped him, but the fact that she slapped him seems to thematically be tied to the fact that she had just been hit earlier. Also, let me get this straight. When Araragi was talking to her before he got his upper half of his body punched off, was he seriously trying to tell her to just be happy? To just disregard all of everything and just let it be and be happy? I mean, it's not like she was already trying to do that and it was failing miserably, so I don't know. But I feel like a lot of what he might have been saying was just to rile her up so that she would attack him. So that, you know, she would be affected by the sword. That may have been part of it, but what definitely did not go according to plan was her turning against herself and saying that she should just die. He did not expect that, so he started to backpedal pretty quick, saying, why didn't you just, you know, do what you always do and say, it's not like I know everything, I just know some things. But she started to bring some of that patented criticism of hers inward, because he tried to say, I don't love you. And she does love him, so that tore her apart. But he's not seeing that element of it, not really. I don't think he fully understood why she was saying that she should just die, because it doesn't get to dawn on him until near the end of Bake that she had feelings for him. He never even entertained the notion that she would have feelings for him. And he was rejecting himself even having feelings for her, maybe even just out of a fear of being rejected, or perhaps just that, you know, as he said, he was new to this whole having feelings about other people thing. So I guess without the proper experience, he wasn't willing to put himself on the line and accept that he might love Hanekawa. He downright refused to love her. He pushed those feelings aside, intentionally choosing not to. Which, we're already aware that bites him in the butt badly. In some ways, he ends up falling in love with Senjugahara, but haven't had to think about their relationship in a bit, you know, because it hasn't been touched upon in the series as a whole since Bake. They've been branching out into other directions, focusing on other people's relationships, so I haven't had to think about them in a bit, but when it last left off about them, things were going pretty smooth. Anyway, I can't keep rambling on forever. The point is that Nekomonogatari had some nice surprises. It was a pretty good arc overall, maybe not the strongest of all the ones we've seen, but it was definitely a welcome addition. It adds a lot of depth to Hanekawa, as well as Araragi's relationship with her and how he sees her. It fully cements the problem that he was in by the time we get to Bake, where he was just in complete shock and awe when people started telling him that she loved him, even though it was pretty much plain as day. But old Araragi, he was still in his full suicide mode by this point. He spelled that out about as clearly. So, guess that's it for now, guys, but thank you for watching. Make sure to leave a like and a comment if you enjoyed, subscribe to be updated on more. that would be fantastic. Let me know what you thought of Nekomonogatari, as well as this final episode. Overall, if you think there's anything I didn't catch and want to let me know of, be sure to do so. I would appreciate it. But now, the next thing on the list, I believe, is the awkwardly named Monogatari series second season. Yeah, because, as it turns out, everything we've just seen, minus Kizu, I guess, has all been encompassed in what was technically the first season of Monogatari. Yeah, all of these different little pieces were all season 1, and this next part is called season 2, even though the rest of it wasn't labeled season 1. So, that's not freaking confusing at all, but I guess they couldn't think of a name? Or I don't know. Why couldn't they think of a name for it? It's just called Monogatari Series Season 2. Why wasn't it like Baka Monogatari or something like that, or anything, you know? I guess maybe it encompasses multiple smaller sections and puts them all into Season 2? Maybe? I don't know. I don't know, dude. And I do believe that second season has like a full 26 episodes or something, making it the first full season that we've gotten. So I guess it makes sense that they would call the whole thing second season like that if it's so long, because even Bake, which was the longest we've seen yet, had only 15 episodes, so whatever. I am rambling on at this point. I'm just gonna call it here, so thanks for watching, guys. Hope to catch you next time for Monogatari series second season, but until then, I will see you guys later.